Yeah. Um, Only àwọn debate kan tó ń lọ online, recently about Fela and Wizkid. And I think the debate came after Olamide said something about this Afrobeat of a thing in one show. Like after Fela, it was Wizkid. And all these Wizkid FC, as the be now. So they were flying that, what is Fela singing? Wizkid is the greatest, blah, blah, blah. Sherry, ẹ̀yin new generation yìí. I'm talking of the child of, let me see, maybe 2000 coming up. That's maybe almost 26 years ago. You see all this kind of disrespect. The man ní fún àwọn àgbàlagbà is not making any sense anymore. Fine, Wizkid is a great artist. He's an icon. He has done a lot in Nigerian, Africa industry, No dispute about that. But saying Wizkid is greater than Fela, ẹ jẹ́ kó rí yín pé now. Kí ló ń ṣe èèyàn ọmọ ẹ̀? Because it has been a very big debate recently that I was seeing Sheung doing some videos and people were countering him like, what is he saying? Blah, 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 blah. It's not a joke. And I don't know how this generation thinks. When you talk about impact, influence on something, that is when you can talk about comparison. The impact Fela made, the impact Wizkid made, and the things Fela and Wizkid has done in Nigeria, both in music and generally everything. Fela was the one that brought Afrobeat, that make it known to the world. You understand? Before Wizkid step on the foot, Burna Boy step on the foot, Davido step on the foot. I mentioned these three artists because they are the biggest artists in Nigeria. Even Burna Boy can attest to it. When he was interviewed in one of his interviews, that the inspiration he said is from Fela. So how can you be comparing somebody that stood on somebody's foot, and you are comparing it to the person that invents that thing? Fela brought Afrobeat to Nigeria, to the Africans, to the world. And Wizkid stood on that foot. And you are saying Wizkid is greater than Fela. How? Báwo ni ẹni tó bá nǹkan lẹ̀ ṣe máa great ju ẹni tó dálẹ̀? It's not. You guys should think before saying something out. Emma ronú kẹ́ tó máa sọ. I understand all this FC of 18, 30 BG, everybody has their fans. But ẹ má máa jẹ́ kí ojú yín máa fọ́ kẹ́ tó máa make àwọn comparison kan. Fela, I think Fela has like 46 studio album. Wizkid has just only 6. If not for this new generation level, like the social media, Spotify, Audiomack, Apple Store, that make all these new artists, this generation artists, to be known. Many of these artists you won't even know them anymore. So if you are comparing Wizkid to Fela, that means you can compare all this Chris Brown to Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson was reigning. I remember I was in SS1 when Michael Jackson died. That was 2009. When I heard Michael Jackson died, I cried. And then social media has not been rampant like this. It has not been a common thing like but during Michael Jackson's 80s, 90s, àwọn èèyàn ń ra disc, àwọn èèyàn ń wá mix, tó ń lọ show, tó ń ṣe gbá, tó ń ṣàwò. Àwọn nínú artist ní sìn tí ò bá ń ṣe social media ní mọ́mẹ́ ni wọn, àti ẹ̀ ní gbúrò wọn. But because of the social media power, that is why you are seeing all the àwọn Wizkid, Davido, they are all good artists. But if you look at what Fela did in his era, in his time, Fela was singing and was attacking the government. Bí Fela ṣe ń kọrin, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìjọba ń gbé. Bó ṣe ń kọrin, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń drag ìjọba. He was doing music and he was still an activist at the same time. He was singing and was using his song to fight for the citizen. How many artists sing ló lè ṣe nǹkan tí Fela ṣe? No. Yes, kò sí artist tó lè ṣe nǹkan tí Fela ṣe ní era ẹ̀. He was using his song to tackle the government, to drag the government to do the right thing. Fela was going show, his show was getting more attention even when there is no social media. tí ó bá ń ṣe social media sí gbogbo challenge tá à ń ṣe ní TikTok tá à ń ṣe ń gbá tá à ń ṣàwò àwọn artist mi wà tó yẹ pé àti ẹni gbúrò wọn rárá compared to the time on Two-Face when Two-Face started, when P-Square started, when they sang Get Squared. Those days there was no social media like this. Tó bá jẹ́ pé irú sí yìí ni àwọn P-Square ni wọ́n ṣe gbogbo àwọn Senorita, Get Squared, àwọn Davido gan máa bẹ níwájú wọn ni. But because the social media has helped the recent artists, let's say they are great. What is great about them? Ṣé gbogbo ìdí ọ̀yàn tá à ń gbọ́ náà nísìnyí tó jẹ́ pé they all sing about love. There is no reality music anymore. So what are you guys saying? You are now comparing Wizkid to Fela. You should be comparing Wizkid and Burna and David, not Fela. Fela is far beyond them. It's beyond what you are thinking. Fela is an icon. Fela is the greatest of all greatest. You people should know what you are doing. Feminism abijensi kí ló máa ń pè yín. Kò máa wá social media máa sọ nonsense lẹ́nu. Wizkid is ṣé Fela gun Fela. I saw one guy was just spitting rubbish. Ṣé Fela gun Fela. Nígbà tí Fela wà, is one of the richest musician. Nígbà ẹ̀ ayé ìgbà wọn Benz 200, Benz 190, 504. What is Ferrari? Who are the people driving Ferrari then? So you people should just think before you be saying something. Come on, what's online? Mama so nonsense. Fela, yala ya gbogbo wọn ni Fela jẹ́.